We have talked about how to add signed numbers. We had two rules. Now we're going to look at how to subtract signed numbers. The rule for subtracting signed numbers is to say we want to, we have a first number, subtract the second number. The rule is we're going to change the subtraction to addition. It's kind of idea is a little similar to dividing two fractions. We change division to multiplication. But if you remember, say if you do 1/2 divided by 3/4, and what we did before is we change division to multiplication, but we have to flip that second fraction to 4/3. So we can turn this into a multiplication question. And it's a little similar to that, but the rule is a little different. So we are going to change subtraction to addition. So this minus will become a plus. But we also have to change the second number to the opposite of the second number, not the reciprocal of the fraction, but opposite of the second number. So the rule can be memorized this way as keep the first number, change the minus, so change the minus sign, and then do another change sign. Opposite means if your original number is positive, you change it to negative. If its original number is negative, you change it to positive. For example, 3, it's a positive number. The opposite would be negative. So you're going to get -3. But if you have, say, -5, the opposite will become a +5. That these are, if there are signs in front of them are different, we call them opposite numbers. Okay, so which means if I have the second number is positive, and then you're going to change it to negative. If the second number is negative, you're going to change it to positive. So that's the rule. So we're going to look at, so pretty much we are going to change subtraction question to addition question. So we can look at 4 examples here. We apply the rules to do these 4 questions. So the rule says keep, change, change. Not keep, change, flip. That's for fractions. So it's a little similar. The difference is the last number. So we keep the first number and we change the sign. And then we also have to change the next number to the opposite, which means you also change the sign. So keeping the first number +3. Change this minus sign to a plus sign. Also change the next sign to a minus, so we can turn this number to its opposite. So 3 steps here. Keep, change, change. And now this is addition question. We can apply the rules we learned before. $3 credit plus $5 debt. And we have more debt. So the final answer would be negative. And how much more debt? 5 minus 3, $2. $5 debt minus $3 credit. We have $2 more debt. Now similarly, we can do the same second question. Again, keep, change, change. So we keep this -3 and change this minus sign to a plus, and change the next number to its opposite, which means minus, we have to change it to plus, because the opposite of negative is positive. So now we're doing debt plus credit. And this time we have more credit. So we end up in credit. How much more credit? Still $2 more. Now the next question, still use the same rule. Keep, change, change. We keep the first number +3, change the minus to a plus, and change the minus to a plus. This turns into a 3 plus 5, which is +8. Now next, last question. Keep the first number -3, change subtraction to addition, and change the next number to its opposite. Just change the sign in front of it. Now, debt, this is debt plus debt, which we get larger debt. Negative means debt. Larger, 3 plus 5 is 8. So that's how we do subtraction. So we turn this into a addition question. And the other thing I want to talk about again is the simplified writing. Because right now I put all the signs in there so you can see whether they have the same sign or opposite signs. But a lot of questions may not be written this way. For example, the first question, number 1, I can simplify the writing. So we talk about something called a simplified writing. Because there are just too many signs in there. Some of the signs can be omitted. The first question, I can rewrite it as, we know plus sign in front of the number can be omitted. It doesn't change the number. So this can be changed to 3. The minus sign can never be omitted. We keep the minus. And that plus sign can be omitted. So these two signs can be omitted. We end up with 3 minus 5. And so if you are given this question, and how are we going to do it? Now, similarly, you can, if you get given this question, of course, you can, one thing you can do is to put the plus sign in front of them. And then you can use our rule, keep, change, change, to continue. So you change it back to that question and then continue to solve the problem. But there is a quick way to do this. Instead of putting the signs back in front of them, we can put a plus sign in front of the second number. Put a plus sign right here. So this question will become 3 plus 3 plus a negative 5. So if you see what I did is I just insert a plus sign right here in front of negative 5. Why can I do that? And again, this is pretty much the definition of the rule. So when you subtract the two numbers, you can change the subtraction to addition. So when you do subtract the minus 5, it's like adding the opposite of 5, which is negative 5. So it's kind of like using a rule. But the other way to look at the problem is 3 minus 5 can also be a simplified version of 3 plus negative 5. Because we know the plus sign can always be omitted. The negative sign can't, but a plus sign can be omitted. When you have two signs together, of course, but if you don't have a sign, of course, you can say if you have 3 plus 5, of course, you cannot omit this plus sign. If you omit it, we get 35. But if you have two signs, 1 plus 1 minus, the plus sign can always be omitted. So this is the same question as 3 minus 5. But by adding a plus sign here, you're going to get an addition question which can be done quickly. And more debt than credit, so you get negative 2. And similarly, when we do the second question, we cannot simplify because it's all minus, minus, minus. None of the minus sign can be omitted. But the third one, we can omit this plus sign right here. But these two minus signs cannot be omitted. So you still have to do keep, change, change. And the last one, number 4. The plus sign, we have to keep it. Minus sign, we have to keep it. But that plus sign can be omitted. So we end up with this question, negative 3 minus 5. The parentheses can also be omitted. This doesn't change the question. So how do we do this? Similarly, we can use the same idea. We can just insert a plus sign in front of the second number. And this quickly turns the subtraction into an addition problem. And we know that's a debt plus a debt. That gives us a more debt, negative 8. And again, why can we insert the plus sign? Because when you are subtracting 5, subtract 5, it's like adding the opposite of 5. The opposite of 5 is negative 5. So that's why you can insert a plus sign in front of it. So that I'm again applying this rule right here. Subtract the second number means add the opposite of second number. So you can use the rule subtract, change subtract to addition, and do opposite of 5, which is -5. So you pretty much just simply insert the plus sign in front of it. So we can look at another example, a simplified writing question. So 3 minus 7 minus 5. So when we do this, 3 minus 7, you can use real life example. Some students may be able to see it's -4 immediately. But if you have trouble seeing that, insert a plus sign in front of it. Insert a plus sign in front of negative. Again, it's the subtract can be changed to addition, and the opposite of that. So we do 3 plus -7, which is -4, more debt than credit. So $3 more, $7 debt minus $3 credit. So we get $4 debt. And against -5, you can put a plus sign in front of it. So this is like $4 debt plus $5 debt, which gives us $9 debt.